Van. I'm Shark. We're really glad to be with you guys. Slanchava.
Slancha. Barley Forge.
Barley Forge, baby, every single time. We got some good things going on. This weekend in football is going to be absolutely amazing. And the first game we're going to break down for you guys is going to be the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. Van's got the Indianapolis side of the ball, so I'm going to turn it over to him. Let's hear what you have to say, my friend.
Oh, well, thank you so much, because this makes it a lot easier for everyone listening. Cut down on your time. We're going to talk about the winning team. All right, the winning team all goes down to one thing. Andrew Luck at QB. Andrew Luck. Does he have the luck still? He's had it all season long.
Deshaun Watson.
He had crap. Sound like he had a frog in your throat.
I had something in my throat.
First piece of meat he's had in there all week. Okay. Now, basically, here it is. Luck has been sitting on the sidelines for about 1,800 years. He is now back in the NFL, and he is biting at the bit. This guy is not a Hollywood guy. He's a football player. He's in a great place up there in Indianapolis, and he is perfect for this offense. This is the old Peyton Manning offense, as I understand it. Someone I know has told me about this.
It was designed by a field general.
And he has picked it up and is running with it. Then on the defensive side of the ball, this is a complete team. Let's just talk about Darius Leonard, the middle linebacker.
Sure.
Pretty much led the NFL in tackles. Pretty much did.
111 tackles this season?
I think that was last week. Okay, this guy is unreal. Should have been in the Pro Bowl. Should be in the Pro Bowl. This guy needs to be in there and get out that popularity contest BS.
Right. Well,
because it boils down to this, okay? The Colts are going to do to the Houston Texans what they've been doing to a lot of teams all season long, and they're going to be proven that they are the better team on both sides of the ball.
That sounds like a segue into the winning team of this matchup, the Houston Texans. You're forgetting, Van, about the fact that you have Deshaun Watson on the other side of the ball, who has been quietly playing one of the best seasons in all of the NFL this year. This guy's coming off of a debilitating knee surgery that most people would have never recovered from, and you can brag about Andrew Luck coming back.
He's a QB. The other guy's coming off a debilitating arm. Now you got a knee. So what is he? Is he a running back or is he a QB?
At the end of the day, what it ends up doing, ladies and gentlemen, is putting the two on the same playing field. And I think the cream's going to rise to the top because Watson knows how to run the ball. Andrew Luck is not as mobile, and Watson has just as much success, and especially outside the pocket. So the quarterback matchup, you can go 50-50. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to hear Van and I talk a lot about 50-50 this week. Because it is really hard to pick a favorite in any of the matchups we're talking about. But let's go to the defensive side of the ball for Houston right now, Van.
Oh, no, let's not. Let's keep talking about something else.
Of course you don't want to talk about that.
Let's move on to the next game. Of course he
doesn't want to talk about
quick.
J.J. Watt and Clowney. Come on. And nobody would want to.
Nobody. Or Marcellus. Oh, come on.
No, that's like talking about Donald and Sue over there in St. Louis.
This is a serious
thing. You have got a defense that can hurt the Indianapolis Colts offense in a major way. Yeah. I don't think the Colts have the same type of running game. Lamar Miller's a power back. This guy's going to do great things. Let's not forget about a guy named DeAndre Hopkins. Okay, so Hopkins catches everything. You and I both know it. He's healthy.
Yes.
The Texans are coming into this game fired up and ready to go
for
deep.
Real. And he has a QB who is known as a running quarterback, but I have to admit, he can throw the rock.
He knows how to fling that thing downfield.
He can throw the pill.
Just like Mahomes, just like a couple of other guys we've analyzed this season that have that rolling out, throwing across the opposite shoulder off of 1 foot. All they do is square up and launch, and that ball goes 57 yards downfield.
And hits the target.
Deshaun can do it just like Mahomes can, just like Baker Mayfield can, just like a lot of young quarterbacks.
But some other QBs can throw it 50 yards. It just...
Well, no, they have to do that, the 5-step drop, and they have to step into the pocket and sit there for a second before they can unload the cannon.
And put down the clipboard.
Exactly.
Put down the clipboard.
And then mute the GM in their ear, putting all the pressure on them.
But they got two great QBs.
Let's go to the receiver side on the other side of the ball, too, though, because here I'm going to brag about DeAndre Hopkins.
T.Y. Hilton is who I want to talk about.
Go right ahead, Van.
I want to talk about T.Y. Hilton, and I want to talk about a Houston player. I want to talk about a guy who is a solid defender, Mr. Joseph on defense, right?
Yeah, why not?
The guy brings the pain. He can cover. He can do the whole 9 yards.
He gives you a whole nother level of defense beyond Watt and Clowney.
But between him and Hilton, I understand there is some bulletin board material going out because basically T.Y. came in and dropped the bomb in Houston and said, after I put up this many yards and this is my house.
Ooh.
This is my house.
Guys, fireworks are going to happen on the field, and we want to know what you have to say about it. So make sure you subscribe below.
Whose house is it?
Click that notification bell. Get
Whose
involved.
house is
we
it?
want your comments, but I'm going to tell you what. You are split right down the middle of this camera with Van and I. Houston all the way for Shark. Van's on the Indianapolis side of the ball. We
Winning
want to know what
side
you
here.
think.
You got the other side over there.
Slancha.
Absolutely. And let's move on.
Yeah, Seattle and the Cowgirls. Seattle and the Cowgirls are playing.
All right. Let's jump to it. Seattle at Dallas, and the way that you really find out who's going to win in the playoffs is you go back and you look in that season, the most recent game, and this game they played earlier in week 3, and you say, who won that game? Because that gives you a good indication.
Yeah, but that's a long time ago, Van.
Week 3, and this is 2 different teams.
That is a long time ago.
And it's not only different for the Dallas Cowboys, it's different for the Seattle Seahawks. They are a different team.
Right.
And by the way, the Seahawks won, but the Cowboys gave it away. It was a cluster of a game. All right, and it is what it is.
Well, Van, you got to love the trajectory of the Seattle Seahawks coming into this game. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, you know what side of the ball I'm on. So
again, the losing side.
Because my Detroit Lions are at home watching football on television, I'm
not happy with that either.
Well, no, I'm going to go ahead and take that joke away from Van because his team's fighting into the playoffs. But at the end of the
joke. Okay,
at the end of the day, Seattle has such a great trend line coming into this matchup. If they can get some incredible performance out of the running game from the young guys they have back there, Carson, please go off. But Rashad Penny, you got to be that change of pace. There's a couple other guys back there that need to do some things in the backfield in order to free it up for Russell Wilson to fling the rock. Now let's go over to the other side of the ball. What do you got to say about Dallas?
Dallas is going to win. It's going to be ugly. I don't even think it's going to be close.
Really?
No, this is going to be a beatdown.
Ooh.
What happened earlier in week 3, I don't mind talking about that game.
Go
at
ahead.
all.
Completely different football was being played in week 3 than there is played in week 18.
I agree. It was a dysfunctional Dallas team that gave the game away through their own miscues. And I got to give the Seahawks credit, okay, when you're at home and the other team is giving you the ball through fumbles, through interceptions, through whatever, you're supposed to take advantage of it.
I respect that. I respect that. And all that's fine and good. But
now,
I want to talk about week 18. And I want to talk about who on the Dallas side of the ball is going to be effective for you in this so-called beatdown, please, Van. Would you explain?
Well, you're not just going to let me be vague and like...
No, I'm not going to let you keep talking about week 3. I'm going to ask you what's going to happen in this game.
Amari Cooper, Jalen Smith, LVE. That's what happened. LVE's first game to get significant minutes was actually against the Seahawks in week 3, and he did so-so.
Yeah.
It hasn't been like that since then. No, LVE was legitimately up for Defensive Rookie of the Year. You know, I got to give a nod to the Colts guy we talked earlier. When you lead, now the right guy won it, okay,
sure.
But this guy was knocking on his door, and him and Jalen Smith are playing football like nothing before. And Sean Lee is back. Then you throw in this new guy the Cowboys have got called Amari Cooper, and wow, the Raiders played the Seahawks with Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper got knocked out after about 4 plays.
Well, listen, Amari Cooper's only played 9 games with the Dallas Cowboys, so his statistics that you see that are coming up here don't represent the games he played prior to that.
No,
and so
not at all.
We're talking about somebody that's averaging almost a first down every time he touches the ball. Matter of fact, I think it's better than. And I think there's somebody on the other side of the ball who's doing the exact same thing.
You're not supposed to bring that up. You're not supposed to know about that, okay? And you know, hey, I'm going to steal a little thunder for you and jump into this. On the other side of the ball, you know, you have a team that is a running team. They have several running backs and a quarterback who runs the ball like crazy, but they have a wide receiver who is really allowing a lot of that to happen because almost every time you throw him the ball, it's either a first down or a freaking touchdown.
Right.
All right, explain about this guy.
Well, I mean, you're talking about somebody that has the ability to run a route better than almost anybody else in the league. And his break off of the ball, it's almost like nobody can get any hands on him. So he's automatically got this advantage, and everybody's reacting to what he's doing. He is not reacting to what the defense is doing. He's making them move to him.
Okay, that works in the regular season.
And he catches everything.
Yeah, he does do that. But, I mean, that works in the regular season. Is it going to work in the playoffs?
Yes, of course it is. You build recipes throughout the regular season
I
that
don't
end up
think so.
baking you birthday cakes in the playoffs. And these guys are going to sit there like this,
call,
my
good
friend.
call, good
They're
call.
going to sit there like
Oh,
this.
no, actually, when you see that, that's Ezekiel Elliott saying,
Ah!
feed
That is,
me.
you're absolutely right.
And it's what's going to happen.
Did he coin the phrase,
Because
Mr. Elliott?
they're going to use the Seahawks' own formula against them because the Seahawks are not going to be able to stop that running game. That's going to be it. I'm taking Dallas.
Yet once again, you guys heard it here first. He's taking Dallas. Go figure. No, of course, I'm on the Seattle side of the ball. I think Russell Wilson's going to have a huge game. I don't think that the secondary of the Dallas Cowboys, if you get beyond that front that they have, what do they have back there in the secondary? And so this is our Randolph and Mortimer $1 bet of the week. Seattle Seahawks will beat the Dallas Cowboys. Mortimer, what do you say?
Done. Bet.
It's a bet.
Talk about
All
it
right, you
later.
heard it here first. We got to move on. You know, there's a lot of things happening this weekend with teams that just are going to just create fireworks.
Especially. And I would like to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers facing at the Baltimore, what?
The Clippers?
It says LAC. Isn't
Oh,
that,
that's right. LAC, that is
that,
the...
okay,
yeah.
all right.
But I want to
The
talk
San
about
Diego
the
Chargers, all right, and who are on fire this year.
They are playing very, very well.
And I'm picking them.
I wasn't
Right
a huge
here,
fan.
this is my thing. I'm picking them right here. I got the big thing around it. This is my cheat sheet, and I'm saying in Baltimore, they're going to take them, and here's why. Okay, I'm done. Now,
There's a guy named Lamar Jackson that
Oh.
might have something to say about that, sir. Lamar Jackson is probably the hottest thing going in quarterbacks this season
really
over the
is.
last
He really
6
is.
weeks.
He really is.
Let's look at the last 6 weeks. Don't talk about the first 10 games of the
if
season.
RG3 had not been a dick, he would have been Lamar Jackson.
Well, had RG3 not
Well,
been made
he's
out of
backing him up.
had he not been made out of glass
Oh,
and
that's
got
true,
hurt
true.
every time he snapped the ball,
That's true,
then
true.
maybe.
That's true,
But no,
true.
Lamar Jackson's the real deal. He's a horse.
Yes.
He's strong as anybody else on the field. He's got moves. He's got great instincts. How many times have you seen him?
he
Van?
has Teflon.
How many times have you seen him in the pocket right when he sets up and he feels pressure coming from him on a blind side? There's no way he can even know that he's there. And he rolls and creates motion.
Stealth fighters can't get close to this guy.
So
his radar is insane.
Here's the prediction, Van, and you and I talked about it in the green
He's
room.
that good.
Listen,
He's
we
that
talked about it in the green room. Here's the prediction. If Lamar Jackson rushes for more than 70 yards and a touchdown, and he probably will get 2 if he rushes for 70 yards, trust me.
That's the litmus
But
test.
if
That's the bar.
that's it. If he hits 70 yards rushing, Baltimore beats the Chargers. If he gets 125,
I'm saying
look
he's going
out.
to get less. I'm saying he's going to get less because I'm going the other way. But man, I got to agree with that bar. The 70 yards, 75 yards,
If
right
he's
in
right there, he's gotta have
Basically,
1 or 2
unless
scores.
they can contain him,
They can't.
it's not happening.
They can't contain him.
It's not happening.
They can't.
And
But-
all year long, not all year long, the last half of the season. But now, you know how that goes. Everyone knows how that goes. New is great. New is good. Now let's play playoffs football.
Listen, while Lee has got the Lamar Jackson stats up there, I want to point out something important, and this could be a key factor in this game. Lamar Jackson's got 12 fumbles. 12 fumbles. Now, those aren't all fumbles for losses. They didn't give the ball up every time he did it, but he's got 12. If he can't control the rock while he's running, while he's mobile, and take those hits without coughing out the ball, then you've got a completely different game. But you also have a Hall of Fame season in Phillip Rivers going on the other side of the ball right now.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, you got to tell me what you think Phillip Rivers is going to do in this matchup.
I think Phillip Rivers is going to do what Phillip Rivers does, and he doesn't care about records. He doesn't care about crap except about the win. He is a competitor, and he loves to compete. And this guy is going to win the football game by driving his team down the field, eating up the clock, handing off the ball, making those incredible throws when he has to.
Nice.
Do I think he's going to go 25 for 25? No, I do not.
Oh, props to
I do
Nick
not.
Foles, by the way. And how about his receiver dropping that ball in the flat?
Actually,
it only hit him in both hands. Nick Foles, I am so sorry, dude. I am so sorry that you couldn't have an NFL record as a backup quarterback. It makes me so mad.
Quick sidebar. You're Nick Foles.
Right.
I'm the QB.
Right.
Coming back in, and I don't know if you saw the old movie, The Replacements, the guy that could not catch, okay?
Right.
And they put so much stickum on his hand. It looked like an elephant.
Like pine tar on his hands, right.
All right, so basically he comes back and he looks at you. What do you tell this guy as you're calling the next play? Do you look at him?
Here's what he told him. I'm doing the same thing, catch it this time, because the exact next play from scrimmage was the same play, and he caught it, and he went in for a touchdown. So Nick Foles said, I don't give a shit about NFL records. Go score a touchdown, please.
That's what winning quarterbacks do. All right.
You're right.
I got to give you that.
This guy's a backup, and I tell you what, he's going to lead the Philadelphia Eagles into some really good situations coming up this weekend.
Quick sidebar. We were talking about Lamar Jackson.
Wait, is this
there.
the second sidebar, Lee?
No,
is this
third.
the sidebar after the sidebar?
Third. Actually, I think this is a sidebar 1A.
Okay, fair enough.
Like
No, this is the asterisk sidebar.
With Lamar Jackson leading the NFL as a running quarterback and setting all these incredible records.
Oh, sure.
Let's not forget there's a certain Buffalo quarterback that until just 2 weeks left in the season was leading the league with the same amount of games.
Yeah.
So there are two QBs here. As a matter of fact, we got somebody here in the studio that's going to come on later that is, I don't know, would you describe her as a Buffalo fan?
Maybe. She likes that really cold weather, East Coast football. You know, those guys that like to run around in the snow, they don't know how to build domes like the people down in New Orleans.
I think she comes on here with a coat.
Oh, wait, Detroit built a dome too, didn't they?
She has a scarf, everything on. Everything on.
No, we got a wind machine coming in just to make her feel at home.
Just so the sports winch will look good. Okay. All right, but no, I mean, but her quarterback, I got to give her credit because she pointed that out to me.
Listen,
she pointed that out to me.
The rookie's good. There was 5 really great performing rookie quarterbacks starting in the NFL this season, just in case anybody wasn't paying attention. And we've seen some incredible football out of them. This is reminiscent of 1983, 1984, and 1985 in the NFL when we saw Dan Marino, we saw John Elway, we saw Steve take over, we saw Doug, we saw frickin' all of them. I mean, Randall Cunningham. We saw. Oh, come on.
All right, that was awesome.
Warren Moon.
All right, well, now let's talk about the quarterback that's not there, Wentz, and we started to touch on this. You gave the perfect segue, and I took us off. My bad.
That's okay.
But basically, we have Philadelphia at Chicago. It's the last wild card game. And hey, let's be right front about it. I'm calling Chicago. Why? Because they're going to win. That's why. But now,
Ben and I are going to agree on this one.
Show's over.
I'll take the Eagles side of the ball.
Okay.
Just because.
I said earlier on the show, and we both agreed actually, that there's no home field advantage here. Actually, there is.
There could be.
You know, right here, Chicago.
Who wants to play at Soldier Field in January?
Oh, against a defense that is monster of the Midway Bible.
The number 1 defense in the NFL this season, statistically across the board, is the Chicago Bears.
I want to play in that weather.
Do you think that has something to do with the new linebacker they picked up?
I want to play in that weather. I want to be in that field. I want to be on the Chicago side of the field.
Right, exactly.
I don't want to be on the other side of the field.
So listen, do you think Philadelphia has what it takes to make this a interesting game?
Yes.
Do you think this is going to be a head-to-head matchup, scoring going back and forth, or is it going to be a low-scoring game, Van?
Man, all right, here. We're talking about the Chicago defense, and they are obviously for real, number 1.
Of course.
But I tell you what, the Philadelphia, not only the defense, but the team has been a early and late situation. Early Philadelphia Eagles, a freaking joke. Philadelphia Eagles today, I don't know a team out there that wants to play on both sides of the ball. When you have Fletcher Cox, okay, I don't care who's around him. But by the way, the guys around him are damn good.
Yeah, they are.
And then, man, this is a for real defense. And you're talking about Trubisky.
Yeah.
they're going to slap him around,
You think
man.
so? You think they're going to get to him and ruffle his feathers?
Oh, yeah. They are going to get to him.
Don't you think that offensive front of the Chicago Bears has the ability to push those guys to the outside and give Trubisky a pocket?
We're going to find out, because ultimately, can they run against the Philadelphia Eagles? And in the second and the latter half of the season, I'm going to say second half, the latter half. I mean, they snuck in. But hey, it doesn't matter how you got there. What matters is once you're there, are you for real? And there is nobody who wants to play these guys, because the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles is looking not that far off of what they were last year. And by the way, they don't have to worry about Wentz, because they have their Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Super Bowl champion Nick Foles, who rested on the bench for 10 weeks, waiting for Carson Wentz to get hurt, decides to come in and save the day and beat the #1 defense in the NFL. The Eagles are going to go into Soldier Field and do something that is going to fire them up for the rest of the playoffs. This is a NFL championship team going to Soldier Field. Eagles, you better show up, man.
Please tell me.
Come on.
We're both picking Chicago, because
If Trubisky has a bad game, the Eagles win.
if you're taking
Trubisky's
the Eagles,
the key. That
I'm
guy's
so
a wild
nervous.
card.
Because
That's
this is anybody's game.
That's like Baker Mayfield. You never know what he's going to do.
But I think Chicago's going to win big.
Huh?
I don't think small.
He's going big games. I'm not.
Big.
We were talking 50-50 in the green room. Now he's going big. He's got a couple of guys going big, and I just think it's going to be tighter football than that. I really hope that you guys chime in. I really want to know what you think. The 4 games this weekend decide the future of what's happening in the playoffs. I mean, you got some bye teams that, yeah, we'd love to talk about them. There's a lot of players that we could go on and out about on the Patriots and the Chiefs and the Saints and the Rams, but everybody knew that they were going to be sitting at home.
But for the teams right here this week, they actually fall into 2 categories, and I find that interesting. They have the teams here who have a team, and they're going to try and find out, do we have what it takes? I'm talking like the Chargers. I mean, that's a complete team,
Yeah.
okay? I'm looking at my notes here. Colts, complete team. Texans,
Agreed.
complete teams. Then we have a bunch of teams that are looking for one thing. Do we have a quarterback
Yes.
that can take us to the playoffs?
And I think the Eagles are the one that has that, yes. And I think everybody else is
They got 2
wondering.
babies.
Everybody else is wondering right now. Because the defensive and offensive side of the ball for the teams you just mentioned, you're right. They're the total package. They've got
Dak Prescott.
Come on.
Is he the guy?
Is he?
We don't know.
Trubisky?
We
Can he show
we
up
don't
in the
know.
playoffs?
We don't know.
We're not sure. Hey,
don't
how
know.
about Nick Foles? Can he show up in the playoffs?
Oops, you got me on that one. You got me on that one.
So
Okay.
Philadelphia has a strong
One
chance.
proven guy there on the if side. And he's only on the if side. Guess what? Actually, he's not on my if side. Not anymore.
Can't
No.
be.
Done. One.
Can't be.
Hey,
And listen,
who's on your if side?
The #1 heavily swayed Vegas bet is the Houston Texans over the Indianapolis Colts. I think they're like 61.5% favorites right now. At the end of the day, you move over to Chicago and Philadelphia, and Chicago at Soldier Field at 12-4 with the best defense in the league is heavily favored. So those are your top 2 most favored picks.
I've got one more for you.
I'd love to go on the other side of that ball. I'm a contrarian, my friend. Let's look at the fact that fireworks are going to happen this
If the
weekend.
Eagles win, the Eagles are in the NFC Championship game. If they win this, they're in the championship game, and it's 50-50.
And then
whether they
nobody
do the
wants to
thing.
play them in the Super Bowl.
Nobody. If they win this, then they are for real.
Yeah.
Because they're going up against a solid team. I mean, that is it. I totally believe
Everybody's going to be in fear and awe of the Eagles if they beat Chicago at Soldier Field in the wild card.
And the team that can give them the most swack, the most problem, is if the Dallas Cowboys win their game, as they should, then that is the team, them and the Eagles. I can't believe it. The NFC East, which for most of the season was one of the weakest divisions, now has 2 teams in the playoffs, and wow, they may be the deal.
How about that? And what's going to be more fun than watching the Eagles play the Cowboys? I mean, this is going to be great.
All right, we got a dollar bet in.
Football coming up in the playoffs for 2018 and 2019 is almost as good as it gets.
I got my Eagles projection out there. They win it this week. They have potential to go all the way. You give yours. We're out of here.
Yeah, well, you took Chicago at the beginning of that matchup, so I'm going to let him stay on the Chicago side of the ball. I'm the one who picked the Eagles. Thanks for that, Van. Way to try to bogart in on my pick. But at the end of the day, he's picking the Eagles if they win this week.
Was
so
that
means
smooth?
that means he doesn't have a lot of confidence in Chicago.
Good. That was good.
No, what was smooth was me picking up on that. We want to know if you picked up on it. Comment below. Hey, click on the subscription notifications, ring the bell, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. Van and I love being here with you every single week. We're putting out as much as we can for you guys. We want to know what you think. We'd love to have some banter back and forth. Thanks for being part of Thursday Night with VanderShark.
Barley Forge.
Barley Forge. Slan Shava.
La Slancha.